Okay, so we are supposed to start with 9.15. Okay, I'll read the verse. Somebody can read the translation. Gnana yagnena chapyanye janto mam upasate ekatvena pratatvena bahuda vishvato mukham. Okay, anybody wants to read translation and purport? Okay. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge. Sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge means gnana yagna. Sacrifice is yagna, cultivation of knowledge is jnana. So others who engage in gnana yagna worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, which is ekatvena, as diverse in many means prutatvena, and in the universal form. Bahuda vishvato mukham. Okay, so a little bit technical verse. This verse is a summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. So that we already discussed yesterday in the last session, Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna in different ways. Krishna also in different ways. Who also worship Krishna in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, financially destitute, inquisitive, so Artho Artharthi Jignasu Gnani. That was already discussed. But there are others who are still lower. So basically there is a gradation here. First is Mahatma, who does not know anything other than Krishna. So that is a first class, right? Then there are, and Mahatma is a pure devotee. What is pure devotee? Pure devotee is one who has Gnana Karma Dhanavritam. So no other intention to do bhakti but pleasure of Krishna. So he is a pure devotee, he is a Mahatma. Now below the Mahatma are Mishra Bhaktas, which is Artha Arthati Jignasu Gnani. They are not Shuddha Bhaktas, but they are still devotees, but they have material desires. So they are called Mishra Bhaktas. Mishra means mixed. Now below that, still lower than these Artho Artharthi Jignasu Gnani. Artho is distressed, Artharthi is financially destitute, Jignasu is inquisitive, Gnani is one who is engaged in cultivation of knowledge. So below them are these three categories that are discussed in this verse. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme, Ekatvena, I am same as Lord. He worships the Lord, but he worships himself as the Lord, as one being one with the Lord. Second is Ekatvena Prutatvena. He who concords some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that, Prabhupada says. So he concords some form and worships, but he wants to worship the Supreme Lord, but he decides his own form. And third, he who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Now, below this is the demigod worshippers. And in demigod worshippers, of course, below this is, here little bit of everything is mixed. Yeah, below this is demigod worshippers. And below that is atheists. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who think themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monists, are most predominant. Mayavad and this Nirakaravadi, and they are most predominant. Such people, they think themselves to be Supreme Lord. Om Namo Narayanaya. And in this mentality, they worship themselves. So they think that they're only the Supreme Lord because I am Brahmasmi. But because I am doing some Leela in this material world, so I am covered up by illusion. When the illusion goes, then I realize that I am the Supreme Lord. This is their theory. So they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spiritual soul. At least such a sense is prominent. And Prabhupada is saying at least such a sense is prominent, meaning they don't really act on that platform, but such a sense is prominent, as in they think that way, prominent way. they definitely are sure that they are not the material body. So there is prominence in that thinking. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class includes the worshippers of the demigods. Those who by imagination, okay, so second one itself is demigods, okay, I was wrong. Worshippers are those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord. So according to them, all devatas are non-different from Supreme Lord. Third class includes those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. So this is the worshippers of Vishwarupa. Because they believe in only material power, material energy, material prowess. So they are given a form which is formed of material aspects. Like Vishwarupa is basically the whole vision of the universe and its potencies. So it is material vision of this universe. So they are okay with that. Prabhupada elsewhere writes godless display of opulence, godless display. Because actually there is no God there. Actually, it's just the opulence. So they consider the universe to be the supreme organism or entity and worship that. The universe is also form of the Lord. So they are also worshipping the Lord, but in their own way, they think that the universe itself is a form of the Lord, which it is, but it is not a transcendental form. It's just a material form. Material form in the sense it's just like a convenience to just think about this material world. So it's not like a real form of the Lord. So these three options, there are people who worship Supreme Lord in this way. They are still worshipping the Supreme Lord. 9.16. Aham kratur aham yagna swadhaham aham aushadam mantroham aham evajyam aham agnir aham hutam. Anybody wants to read translation? Okay. But it is I who am the ritual. I the sacrifice. The offering to the ancestors. I'm the ritual. I'm the sacrifice. I'm the offering to the ancestors. I am the healing herb. I am the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. The Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotishtoma is also Krishna, and he's also the Mahayagna mentioned in the Smriti. The oblations offered to the Pitruloka or the sacrifice performed to please Pitruloka, considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna. And many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifices are also Krishna. Fire is also Krishna, because fire is one of the 5 material elements and therefore claimed as the separated energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karmakanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or in other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service to Krishna are to be understood, who performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. Why Prabhupada is saying this? Because whatever is recommended in the Vedas is Krishna. But since they've anyway come to Krishna directly, that means that they should have already done all this Karmakanda. Because this is indirectly Krishna. This is Krishna indirectly, but when they directly come to Krishna through devotional service, it is to be understood that they've already performed all sacrifices. So all of us have performed all sacrifices. So basically this verse is referring to overall fire sacrifice. Fire sacrifice. And saying every aspect of the fire sacrifice, which is the central part of Karmakanda. Vedas have 3 parts: Karmakanda, Gnanakanda, Upasanakanda. So Karmakanda is actually the legal way to attain happiness in the next life. Legal way. Legal way means allowed way, approved way. And the way people in Kali Yuga are trying to get happiness is vikarma. Because mostly all karma results in mostly happiness in the next life. But vikarma are attempts to get happiness in this life, which people end up getting. But because it is vikarma, it will result in future suffering. But karma kanda is the approved karma. When we actually say karma, that means it is in the Vedas, so it is approved. So here it is referring to those fire sacrifices in the karma kanda section of Vedas. 9.17. Pitahammasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksamaya jurevacha. I am the father of the universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. Pitaham, mata, dhata. Dhata means support. Pitamaha, grandfather. Vedyam, the object of knowledge. Pavitram, omkara, the purifier, and the syllable om. Riksama yajur eva. Riksama yajur Vedas. The entire cosmic manifestations, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities. Or nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually they are parts and parcels of Krishna. So this vision is very important for a devotee. The vision that actually everybody and everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Mostly everybody more important because it will help us manage our relations. We should look at everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. Either someone is directly engaged in service of Krishna or somebody is indirectly engaged in service of Krishna. Directly engaged means they are in the shelter of the Daivi energy, Daivi Prakriti. Indirectly means they are in the shelter of the material energy. But everybody is serving Krishna. This is the actual vision of a devotee. And when we start looking at people around us with this vision, we don't look at anything as separate from Krishna. Very difficult vision to develop, but I'm saying something that we should practice, especially with those in our lives who actually kind of whom we are troubled with, who are cause of trouble for us mentally, etc. When we look at such people, we should look at them and explicitly remember that they are part and parcel of Krishna, that Krishna's Paramatma is residing in their heart, so that that is a temple of the Lord, that body is a temple of the Lord, and so we respect. We respect doesn't mean that we agree to everything they say, but we respect them. Just because they are not allowing us to do bhakti, or they are going against us, or they are, creating trouble for us. It's not that we have to listen to everything they say, but we should definitely respect them. Very important. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. See, so this is a very important vision. In this verse, the word dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, grandfather, etc. are also Krishna. Actually, any living being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada is saying. Because he is part and parcel of Krishna, he is Krishna. All the Vedas therefore aim only toward Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step towards understanding Krishna. It's one of the beautiful purports where Krishna's name is repeated some multiple times. That subject matter which helps us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. And because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, the Pranava or Omkara is very prominent, it is understood to be Krishna. So it is Krishna, 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 Krishna. When it is Krishna, 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 how is it that we are seeing things as separate from Krishna? That means we have material vision. We have to develop spiritual vision. This spiritual vision, one is trying to artificially see everything in relation to Krishna. Artificially means we are making an effort to understand that, okay, this is also Krishna, this is also Krishna, this is also part and parcel of Krishna. Everything that is happening is Krishna. But when we reach the perfect stage, when we literally see Krishna everywhere. So to get to the literal vision of Krishna, we have to have this somewhat figurative vision of Krishna, where we are looking at everything and saying, okay, this is Krishna, this is Krishna. Because Maya means thinking of anything as different from Krishna is Maya. So if you want to get out of Maya, simply look at everything as Krishna. And when we look at everything as Krishna, then we realize, okay, Krishna is the enjoyer, not me. So then the enjoying mentality has to go. So like this, we will remember everything that Krishna is saying in terms of how we should live life in this material world, etc., etc. So if you remember Krishna in everything, that is why a devotee doesn't matter whether he is in material world, he is in hell, doesn't matter to him. Because he literally sees Krishna everywhere. Like Prabhupada once bombing in Calcutta, and he saw that bomb as Krishna. He said, it's Krishna, because Krishna's energy. If Krishna wants to take me from this material world through this energy of his, then why should I prevent it? This is exalted vision of Uttamadhikari. But we should, in little small bits and pieces here and there, we should develop this vision. At least, like I said, when we are dealing with people around us, we can try and use this vision. It will give us a lot of solace, peace of mind, completely. Because we'll stop responding, reacting, getting irritated, frustrated. Everything will stop. People, situations, everything. Look at everything as Krishna. Very important. Please, you should all try to practice. I am also trying, failing miserably, but still trying. It's important to try. Okay. Any questions? Because there's an important verse.
Hare Krishna. Yes, this like you said, like initially it will be artificial. It is artificial vision may not last long, right? So ultimately we need to come to natural.
No, ultimately artificial will not last long when it is not connected to Krishna. But when it is connected to Krishna, it will become spiritual because we are thinking Krishna, Krishna. So then Krishna will shower mercy and it will become this one. See, and we should not think that everything when we came into Krishna consciousness, we said, okay, 4 regulative principles. No, artificially we tried to follow, but then it became natural. So anything connected with Krishna, any effort that we are putting will always give us results. So we don't have to worry whether it is artificial or not. Important thing is that it is Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
And Krishna consciousness anyhow, today when we are trying to chant, what are we trying to do? Literally artificial only, no? But we are practicing and slowly we are making progress. Why it is artificial? Because actually Krishna's Nama is not different from Krishna, but we are not on that platform. We're simply chanting still. So this is also like that chanting. I look at something and say, oh, this is Krishna. Krishna conscious.
Right. Okay, Praji. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Praji. Praji, one more, you are mentioning about Prabhupada seeing bomb as Krishna. Therefore not taking any action. So So we should act at the stage we are in, like when some dangerous situation comes, we need
Depends
to.
on the level of surrender. There is
Right.
no hard and fast rule.
Hmm.
Depends on our level of surrender, our faith in Krishna, etc. But the point is, we should not imitate.
Hmm.
Should not imitate. So I'll give you an example, like His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. So whenever we sit in a car, he first says, "Fasten your seat belt."
Hmm. Hmm.
Once one devotee said, "Hey, Maharaj, no, it's okay. Krishna will protect." That's got to agree. He said, "You expect Krishna to be serving you, waiting that, okay, my devotee has not worn his belt, so I have to be here to make sure that he's protected." So, I mean, where things are possible, we should not say, okay, let me bring Krishna into the picture and put him into service, into my service. But when something like big happens, right, like really beyond our control, then it depends on our level of surrender and our faith.
Hmm.
We can choose not to react.
Okay.
Once Prabhupada had severe tooth pain, severe toothache. Like, I mean, anybody else would have like literally cried. So much of tooth pain. His like jaw and all like had swollen up. The devotee said like, "Prabhupada, take medicine." Prabhupada didn't take. 2 or 3 days he just suffered, as in he just tolerated. Then it is gone. We may not be able to do that. But if we are able to do that, we should do it. But like I said, it's it's an internal state. It's not something to look at others and copy or anything like that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, President. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, 9.18. Badir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surat Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam Gatir Goal. Bharta is actually husband, Prabhu, sustainer, maintainer. Bharta, Prabhu, master, Sakshi, witness, Nivasa, abode, Sharanam, refuge, Surut, friend, Prabhava, Pralaya, Sthanam, creation, dissolution, Nidhanam is also resting place, Ashraya, Bijam, eternal seed, Avyayam, imperishable. Okay, so I'm the goal, sustainer, master, witness, abode, refuge, most dear friend, creation. I am the creation and the annihilation, basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. Gati means the destination where we want to go. But the ultimate goal is Krishna. All the people do not know it. One who does not know Krishna is misled. And his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. Hallucination is like some vision that we get. Hallucination. It's just mind is cooking up some vision. And it looks pretty real. It looks like I am really there. You can look up this word in the dictionary. Very important. Hallucinatory. There are many who make as their destination different demigods. And by rigid performance of the strict respective methods, they reach different planets of these demigods. So, but all such lokas being creations of Krishna are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. Such planets being manifestation of Krishna's energies are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as a step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. One should directly approach Krishna, for that will save time and energy. So this is also very important. People want to serve Krishna by karma yoga, which is okay, which is low class. Which is low class. I'm saying low class because Krishna wants bhakti. Krishna doesn't want any karma, result of karma to be given to him. He is not interested in all this. He just wants love. And then people take shelter of all this of karma yoga, and then they say, no, we're in Kali Yuga, we can do any kind of work, then offer results to Krishna. But we never end up offering results to Krishna. We only offer as much as, as little as possible. And this is not bhakti. We have to be clear, this is karma yoga. Bhakti means Navavida, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, not through work. That's a lower level of connection, actually, not even bhakti. We can't call it bhakti because there's no bhakti bhava. If there's bhakti bhava, then it's okay. Like Prabhupada's early disciples who went to work, came, gave the whole earning to Prabhupada and said, okay, whatever you want to do with it. This is okay. But anything lesser is not ideal, but but we have responsibilities to take care, so we do it, which is why I keep pushing everybody to start thinking. So I know all of you are very young to think about it, but still, it's good. I didn't know about this when I was your age, right? So it's good to start thinking about it now, so that in the next 10 years or so, you can kind of come out of this karma business, if Krishna permits and Krishna wills. One should directly approach Krishna. For that, will save time and energy. So we should directly approach Krishna, not through the other yoga processes. For example, if there's a possibility of going to the top of the building by the help of an elevator, why should one go by the staircase step by step? Everything is resting on Krishna's energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Again, we should remember this also. Anything that is happening in our life is Krishna. Especially true for surrendered devotees. Krishna is the supreme ruler because everything belongs to him and everything exists on his energy. Krishna being situated in everyone's heart is supreme witness. He's a supreme witness. The residences, countries or planets on which we live are also Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter. And therefore one should take shelter of Krishna, either for protection or for annihilation of his distress. Akama sarvakama va. Whether no desire or full of desire, either way we have to take shelter of Krishna. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is the supreme living entity. And since Krishna is the source of our generation, or the Supreme Father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna. No, nor can anyone be a better well-wisher. See, these kind of statements should attract us. No one can be a better friend. Now we want best friend in our life, that is Krishna. We are his servant, but he will still deal with us like a friend. This is the beauty of Krishna's dealings. We want to serve him as a servant, but Krishna will treat us as a friend. When it depends on what mood we want to serve him, but Krishna is always ready to accept us in that mood. Not like some people say, no, we can't think about serving Krishna like the gopis do. Why not? We should, but not artificially, not sahajiya marg. But we should definitely, if we want to, if we feel like, we should definitely want to do it. There's nothing wrong in that. Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. Okay, so we read 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, maybe one more verse. Okay, small one. Tapamyam aham varsham nigrunami utsujami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasaccho chaham Arjuna. Arjuna, I give heat, I withhold and send forth rain, I am immortality, I am also death personified, both spirit and matter are in me. Krishna by his different energies diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. During the summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky, and then during rainy, he gives unceasing torrents of rain. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life, which is our prana, is Krishna. Krishna meets us at the end as death. Analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, is both matter and spirit. The advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinctions. He sees only Krishna in everything. Since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the gigantic universal form comprising all material manifestations is also Krishna. And his pastimes in Vrindavana as 200 Shamasundara, playing on a flute, are those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, we'll close here. 15219. Okay, any questions? Anybody?